Speaking of the moon, I really need to start manifesting being funnier because I know you guys watch these intros looking at me like, all of my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, or self-transformation, this is the community for you. I can't thank you enough for choosing to be here on my channel with me in these precious moments. Today we are talking all about the 4 primary moon phases, what they mean, and how if you're a beginner you can start to work with those moon phases to live the life that you desire. The way we'll go through this video is I will talk about each moon phase individually, what it means symbolically and spiritually, and how you can start to work with this moon phase if you never have before. The first phase of each lunar cycle is the new moon phase, and the new moon phase is symbolic of new beginnings. What do we use the new moon energy for in spiritual practices? The new moon energy is really good for setting new intentions, maybe revisiting old goals or projects that you had and revitalizing them for the new lunar cycle, or planning brand new projects that you haven't even touched yet. This is the most powerful time to start those new beginnings for whatever you want to manifest, whoever you want to be. And personally, the new moon phase is my favorite because I always notice a change by the end of the lunar cycle, and it really depends on what you put into your new moon ritual. So it's my personal favorite. A lot of people really love the full moon, but I'm a new moon person. So my suggestion, if you're a beginner who has never worked with the new moon phase before, I highly recommend that you start by doing a self-care ritual. So you don't need a bunch of fancy herbs and candles and stuff to try and attract all of this energy to you. Just leave all that for now. Just start getting yourself in the routine of doing a new moon ritual, and it starts with self-care, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then none of these new moon rituals or any of the other moon phases are really going to help you out. So starting with self-care is my #1 suggestion, and something you could do to do this is a night or 2 before the new moon or a night or 2 after the new moon, because the new moon energy lasts about a day before and a day after. So it gives you kind of a 3 to 5 day period that you can do your ritual, just in case you're stressed about doing it the night of. Those nights, make sure you take time in the evening when the moon energy is the most powerful. Take time in the evening to do a self-care ritual. An example could be taking a very rejuvenating bath, and during that bath, I like to envision the things that I want to manifest for this new moon cycle, whether that's being more spiritually grounded, whether it's being happier, whether it's healing, or whether it's a specific goal. You just really take the time to relax in this bath, let it rejuvenate you, and imagine yourself living out all those goals, and it'll really start to raise your vibration with the new moon energy in that way. And then after the bath, it's a good time for you, after you've really imagined all those goals or the things that you want to do. After the bath, go to your room, go to a quiet space where you can journal about it. So I would write down a list of like 3 primary goals I want to manifest during this new moon, or start to manifest. So with saying manifesting, I'm not saying that by the end of this lunar cycle, within like 30 days, you're gonna manifest that goal, but you will start to see it come to fruition during the lunar cycle. Write down about maybe 3 of your primary goals that you wanna start manifesting during this lunar cycle with this new moon, and then script about them. And I'm sure some of you have heard of scripting, maybe some of you haven't. So scripting is basically just writing out the goal as if it's already happened. So for example, I write out my goals, and then afterwards I can write something like, wow, today I received a promotion, and this is the promotion that I have been hoping for forever, and I'm so excited, and then start to really describe the emotions of how you will feel when you get to that manifestation, and that attracts the energy to you even more, putting you at the same vibration of the goals that you are trying to achieve. That's the general idea of what scripting is and what I recommend you to do if you're a beginner. Second, we have the first quarter moon, which symbolizes making decisions and taking action on your goals. So what do we use this energy for exactly? So when the first quarter moon is coming about, it's usually about a halfway point between the new moon and the full moon, and this signifies a time where you need to be taking the first steps towards your manifestation. So yeah, it's great that you scripted and journaled and did all these things to attract something you want to you, but it's also your responsibility to work hand in hand with the universe to get what you want. So you need to start taking actionable steps towards the goal that you're trying to manifest. Maybe you're trying to manifest a new car, so you need to make sure that you're starting to put budget plans in place and really starting to do what needs to be done to make that happen and become closer to it. And the first quarter moon is a good time to check in and make sure that you're not letting the inspiration die down. So it's kind of like every new year, everybody gets really inspired and sets all these goals, and then about a month into the new year, they all start dropping off one by one and they lose inspiration and kind of fall back into old habits. So the first quarter moon is a time to check in. You can take this time to really reflect and think, okay, am I losing inspiration? How can I stay on track? With that being said, my beginner suggestion to you, if you're starting to work with the moon phases, is remind yourself during the first quarter moon to recognize any resurfacing limiting beliefs that may be happening and start a practice that will help you stay with the initial inspired manifestation energy that you had during the new moon. You could start a journaling practice every day. So it could be just a 5-minute journaling practice of gratitude. So in the morning and at night, write a list of at least 5 things that you are so grateful for, or things that you have accomplished. Maybe you already took a few of the first steps towards your goal and you're really proud of that. Even if it's things that seem small, nothing is small. So even if it's like you're so grateful for your morning tea, you're so grateful for running water, you know, those things are all things that we can recognize every day to be grateful for. And by doing so, you'll stay in the positive vibration that you need to continue manifesting and working towards the goals that you set at the new moon. But before we continue, be sure that you leave a comment down below letting me know if you've worked with the moon phases before, whether you're a beginner, whether you're trying to gain some new ideas. I really like to know who's watching. And be sure that you don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps me out, as well as hit the subscribe button and the bell. The third phase that we work with is the full moon, which is a very popular phase, and it symbolizes completion and clarity. So how do we use the energy of the full moon? So the full moon is the time when the energy is most powerful for releasing. The time to definitely express gratitude for all of the progress you've made so far, all of the things that you're grateful for in the moment of the full moon, as well as start recognizing what may still be holding you back. And the full moon is a great time to reveal those thoughts to you that may still be holding you back, that you may not even realize, or maybe you do realize it and you try to suppress it or ignore it. You really need to make sure you're using the full moon to release those things that are holding you back, because think of it this way. Say you have a cup of tea and you don't like the tea and you want to drink coffee instead. Okay, great. So normally you would think that you need to pour out the tea and wash out the cup so that way you can put coffee in it, right? Well, if you don't clean out the tea from the cup, then you're gonna get a mix of tea and coffee. You're just gonna pour coffee into a cup of tea and it's gonna taste really gross probably. I don't know, maybe some of you are into that. I don't know, never tried it. I'm gonna assume that it's not gonna be the taste that you want, right? So we need to clean out our cup, dump out the tea, clean out our cup before we pour in the coffee. Same thing with those negative energy, negative beliefs that may still be going on. You need to make sure you're doing something to help clear them out, to be able to receive all of the things that you do want. Just like the new moon, this is a really good time to do something like a rejuvenating bath or meditation, whatever you feel helps revive your energy. So take a relaxing bath, and then afterwards, again, just like the new moon, do a journaling practice, except this one is going to be different from the new moon. The new moon was focused on your goals and how you're going to manifest it. The full moon, you want to do a journaling practice that recognizes the things to be grateful for in this moment. So I do usually a lengthy list during the full moon. I'll list like 10 to 20 things that I'm grateful for. I just kind of let it flow. Then you want to make sure that you write down the things that you believe are still holding you back. So really ponder over it. Maybe if you're into tarot, this is a time to do a great tarot spread to help subconscious messages come to the surface. But whatever you need to do to make sure that you're recognizing those beliefs, be sure that you recognize them. Then write them all down in your journal. When you're done with the list, do something that helps you begin to release those things. For some people, it helps to do a releasing meditation, maybe a releasing chant or mantra. Some people rip the paper, some people burn it, but I mean, I have not tried to burn my own list, so I'm not going to recommend it to you. There's a lot of different things you could do to get rid of that list, but whatever you feel comfortable doing. I personally rip and shred mine up, and I meditate on it. Lastly, we have the last quarter moon, which symbolizes release and forgiveness. How do we use the energy of the last quarter moon? This is a time that you need to really focus on any inner work that needs to be done. It's oftentimes called shadow work, but basically this is just making sure you're doing something to start releasing and getting rid of all the negative things we talked about in regards to the full moon. So if all these things release during the full moon, that's great. If you're not even thinking about those things anymore, they're not even present at all, and you know that they were released officially during the full moon, that is awesome. So what I would do during this time, if that's the case, is just make sure that you take this time to kind of not be so hustle mode and just kind of take care of yourself. You can still work on your goals, of course, but take more time than normal during the last quarter phase to take care of yourself. Now, if you did try to release things during the full moon and you feel like they haven't fully released, or you still have some leftover remnants of the negativity, then you need to instill a practice during the last quarter phase that helps you continue to wean out those negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. So my suggestion to any beginners is to start a small daily practice. Now, I know you're tired of hearing of journaling throughout this whole video, but journaling is really powerful, and there's so many different types of journaling to do. And so during this time, it's a good time to really vent your thoughts to your journal. Maybe there's something that bothers you on a daily basis. Start to recognize triggers that you may have on a daily basis when you're interacting with other people, when you see things on social media. Start recognizing your triggers and journal about them, because the more you let them accumulate in your head, the less you can understand them, because they just get more and more tangled. So really journaling every day, maybe at the end of the day, after things have frustrated you, have triggered you, at the end of the day, journal about all of them and vent to your journal about whatever needs to be vented about. Another thing you could do is pick up a little daily hobby. Maybe you really love to paint and you just got off of painting. Doing those things, keeping them in your everyday practice, is very important to helping release negative energy, negative emotions, and honestly helps you regain confidence too. So if you have a little hobby that you kind of dropped that you think would help put you in a positive state again, then start doing that hobby a little bit every day during the last quarter phase to help again release negative energy and raise your vibration. Once again, be sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what you learned from this video, and if you haven't already, be sure to hop over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community, where we talk even more about astrology, spirituality, and using those things for self-transformation. And before you go, be sure again that you like and subscribe and hit the bell as well. And be sure to watch these videos if you haven't already, because I promise they will help you so much more on your journey with astrology and spirituality. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Adios.